What if the most dangerous criminals don't hide in the shadows because they believe they see the whole truth with just one eye? This is Mysteria Echoes, where myth bleeds into memory and memory becomes truth. Tonight we unravel the legend of the Cyclops, a creature of immense strength and devastating blindness. If you enjoy stories like this, subscribe and comment your thoughts. In Greek mythology, the most famous of them all was Polyphemus, a son of the sea god, ruler of his cave, and executioner of trespassers. But what if Polyphemus was never just a monster? In the Odyssey, Polyphemus was not evil by birth. He was a shepherd, a protector, a figure of authority, until strangers entered his domain. Instead of understanding, he devoured them. Ancient storytellers may have been warning us, not about monsters, but about rulers who see only themselves. The Cyclops had one eye, not because he lacked vision, but because he rejected perspective. Psychologists call it tunnel vision. Criminologists call it moral disengagement. Mythologists, they called it a monster. Abusive authority figures are people in positions of power, such as leaders, officials, teachers, or bosses, who misuse their authority to control, intimidate, or harm others. Instead of protecting or guiding, they rely on fear, punishment, or manipulation to maintain dominance. Criminals who justify violence. These are individuals or groups who commit violent acts and then rationalize them, claiming it was necessary, deserved, or for a greater cause. They often twist morality to excuse harm and avoid responsibility. Leaders who silence opposition. These leaders intentionally suppress criticism or opposing viewpoints to stay in power. They may use censorship, threats, arrests, propaganda, or violence to prevent people from questioning their authority. Modern Cyclops don't live in caves. They live in systems. They wear badges, uniforms, expensive suits. They see only one truth, their own. Crimes justified as necessary. This refers to acts of harm or violence that are morally excused by those in power by labeling them as unavoidable, strategic, or for the greater good. The word necessary becomes a shield that hides responsibility and softens cruelty. Victims reduced to statistics. Real human suffering is stripped of identity and emotion, turned into charts, numbers, or reports. Names, faces, and stories disappear, making it easier to ignore pain and avoid empathy. Accountability blinded. Those responsible can no longer, or choose not to, see the truth. Accountability is obstructed by power, corruption, or willful ignorance. Justice exists in name, but not in action. Cyclops myths were inspired by ancient skulls with a single nasal cavity. This theory suggests Cyclops legends came from misinterpreted ancient skulls, especially elephant skulls. The large central nasal cavity may have been mistaken for a single eye, leading early humans to imagine giant one-eyed beings. Here the Cyclops is a symbol, not a creature. A being with one eye represents single-minded power, leaders who see only their own perspective and rule without restraint, law, or empathy. Polyphemus doesn't just eat men, he destroys voices. This theory frames him as a metaphor for societies that silence, imprison, or erase those who challenge the dominant narrative. Was the Cyclops real, or was it a mirror held up to us? Odysseus escaped by blinding the Cyclops, but in the modern world, who dares to blind power? The monster was never the eye, it was the refusal to see. If power only sees one side, which side are you standing on?